of Sudan present. Bloemfontein, 2015. The air was cold and thick with smoke. Marnus sat slumped against the crumbling wall of the tavern, his body still throbbing from the battle with the 6 deceivers. Blood stained his shirt, drying into a crust that pulled at his skin. Every muscle screamed with exhaustion. But the phone was still in his hand, clutched like it was his lifeline to the world, and in truth it was. On the other end, Michaela whispered through tears, "Papa, you're still there?" "Yes, my girl," he said, voice rough, barely above a growl. "I'm still here." Kirsten's voice followed, softer, trembling with relief. "You fought them, Marnus, you held on." But the lion stirred uneasily in his chest, restless, pacing. Something darker was coming. "The child appears." The shadows at the far corner of the tavern thickened again. This time the darkness did not take the shape of Kirsten or Michaela or any reflection of himself. No, this time it was worse. A small figure stepped out, barefoot, a simple dress torn and dirty. Her hair was in uneven braids, her eyes wide and shining. She couldn't have been more than 5 years old. Marnus froze, his chest caved in. He knew her face. The Sudanese girl. The one he had killed by mistake in the war. She stood there, her little hands clutching a ragged doll. Her lips quivered. "Why did you shoot me, soldier?" Marnus's whole body shook. His breath came in shallow gasps. No, not you." The phone slipped in his grip. On the other end, Michaela gasped. "Papa, who is that? What's happening?" Kirsten's voice broke. "Oh God, Stefan, you bastard." The child stepped closer. Her voice was soft, but each word cut like a blade. "I wanted to go to school. I wanted to play with my brothers. But you took me. Why, Papa Lion?" "Why?" The shadows multiplied behind her. More children appeared. Dozens of them. Boys and girls, some small, some barely older than Michaela. They circled him, their eyes glowing faintly with Stefan's cruel magic. "You killed me. You ruined us. Why did you drink to forget us? Why did you choose war over peace?" Their voices overlapped, a chorus of accusation. Marnus clutched his head, roaring in anguish. His body began to change. Fur rippled across his arms, claws bursting from his fingers. The lion inside was ready to rip them apart, to tear away the pain. But these weren't beasts. They weren't monsters. They were children. And if he let the lion kill them, even as illusions, he would be no better than the man who pulled the trigger years ago. The breaking point. The little Sudanese girl dropped her doll. She walked closer, eyes shining with tears. "You never said sorry." Marnus fell to his knees, his claws retracted, his roar caught in his throat. The lion fought inside him, demanding violence, demanding release. But the man was drowning in guilt. He looked up at her through tears, his voice breaking. "I am sorry. I am so sorry. I have carried you in my nightmares for years. I hated myself. I drank to forget you, but I never could. You deserve to live, and I stole that from you. I cannot undo it, but please, forgive me." The child tilted her head. Her small hand reached out, brushing his cheek. Her touch was warm. The other shadow children fell silent. The air stilled. Then the girl smiled, a sad, tender smile. "Then let me go." Her body dissolved into golden light. One by one, the other children vanished too, until only the empty tavern remained. The aftermath. Marnus collapsed to the floor, shaking, sobbing into his hands. The lion inside him went quiet, not gone, but bowed, subdued by something greater. On the phone, Michaela's voice trembled. "Papa, I heard her. Who was she?" He could barely breathe, but he forced the words out. "A little girl, a child I killed by mistake in the war. I've never forgiven myself. Tonight, I had to face her." Michaela sniffled, her voice breaking. "Papa, I don't care about your past. I only care that you're here now. For me. For us." Kirsten's voice followed, raw with love and grief. "Marnus, you don't need to keep bleeding for the past. God gave you a family now. He gave you a chance to love again. That's what matters." He pressed the phone to his ear, clutching their voices like anchor. Tears streamed down his face. For the first time in years, he felt the weight of the little girl's memory lift. Not erased, not forgotten. Never forgotten, but carried with mercy instead of chains. And in the shadows, Stefan's voice cracked with rage. "You begged forgiveness instead of killing them. You chose mercy?" His howl echoed, venomous. "Then I will find another way to break you. I will turn your love into your weakness, lion." But Stefan's words no longer had the same grip. For Marnus had finally faced his deepest ghost and survived. End of Chapter 16. The Face of Love, present. Bloemfontein, 2015. The days between battles always felt like borrowed time. For Marnus, every hour was both a blessing and a countdown to the next trial. He never knew when Stefan would send another beast. He never knew which face would appear next in the smoke and shadows. But today he had something else. Today was his hour with Tabitha. An hour of fatherhood. The court had ruled he could see her only once a week. 60 minutes, 60 breaths of fatherhood. Marnus sat across the table from her in the small supervised visitation room. Tabitha's hair had grown longer, golden curls bouncing as she fidgeted with her juice box. "Hi, Daddy," she whispered, shy at first. "Hi, my angel." Marnus reached across the table, his rough lion's hands trembling as he held her small fingers. "I've missed you so much." She giggled, and in that sound the beast in his chest went quiet for the first time all week. He told her stories, silly ones about lions who wore pajamas, leopards who couldn't stop sneezing. She laughed so hard she nearly fell from her chair. When the hour ended, she hugged him tight. "Don't let the bad lions eat you, Daddy." His throat burned. He kissed her hair. "Never, my girl. I fight them all for you." And then she was gone, carried back by her mother, and the silence of absence roared louder than the beasts ever could. Madri's visit. Later that week, his eldest daughter, Madri, came for a sleepover. She was older now, sharp-eyed, carrying the weight of knowing more than a child should. She unpacked her schoolbag in his small flat, settling onto the couch like she had always belonged there. They stayed up late watching old movies, her head resting on his shoulder. At one point she whispered, "I wish you hadn't messed things up, Daddy." The words pierced him deeper than any claw or fang. He swallowed hard. "Me too, Madri. I wish I could give you the life you deserved, but I'll always be here now. That I promise." She didn't answer, but her small hand reached for his, and that was enough. Dancing with Ray Lee. That night, after Madri had fallen asleep, the phone buzzed. Ray Lee's voice came through, full of excitement. "Papa! Papa, dance with me!" Marnus chuckled, rising from his chair. "All right, my little sunshine, put on the music." Over the speaker came the tinny rhythm of a pop song. Alone in his flat, he moved clumsily, swaying and spinning, holding the phone as though it were her tiny hands. Rayleigh's laughter bubbled through the line, filling the room with light. "Papa, you dance funny," she squealed. He laughed too, tears blurring his eyes. "I dance better when you're here to hold." Laughter with Michaela later. When the house was quiet, Michaela called. Their conversations had become a lifeline, half serious, half ridiculous. They joked about the little things. What life would be like if they could all just sit at the same dinner table, who would cheat at board games, how Marnus would burn toast every morning. "Papa," Michaela teased, "if you ever try to cook for us, we'll all starve." "Then I'll just feed you lions." "Meat," he shot back. She groaned. "Ooh, Papa!" Their laughter melted the miles between them. For a moment they felt like a family whole, not broken across continents. The attack. But peace never lasted. It began with a flicker in the corner of his eye. The air in the room shifted, heavy, suffocating. He knew the feeling. Stefan was here. Smoke curled in the darkness, and from it stepped a figure. Marnus's heart stopped. It was Kirsten. Her hair shone, her eyes deep and familiar. She moved toward him, arms open. "Marnus," she whispered, "don't fight any more. Let the lion rest. Let me hold you." For a heartbeat he wanted to believe. God, he wanted it more than anything. But the phone was still pressed to his ear, and on the other side Kirsten's real voice screamed, "Marnus, don't touch her! That's not me!" The illusion smiled, cruel, eyes flashing with Stefan's malice. Her skin rippled, claws bursting from her fingertips. She lunged. Marnus roared, shifting as fur and fang overtook him. The battle erupted in his small flat. Furniture splintered as the false Kirsten clawed at him, every movement designed to wound not only his flesh but his heart. "Marnus, stop!" the real Kirsten cried over the phone. "It's not me. Don't let Stefan trick you." The beast pinned him, its face inches from his own. Her lips curled in a sneer. "You'll never know the difference, lion. You'll never trust again." The breaking point claws raked his chest, blood spraying the walls. His strength faltered. Michaela's voice cut through the chaos, shrill with terror. "Papa, that's Mom's face! Don't kill her! Please don't!" Tears burned his eyes. His claws hovered over the beast's throat. His heart split in two. Then he heard Ray Lee's little voice, faint but clear from earlier in his mind. "Don't let the bad lions eat you, Daddy." With a roar of defiance, Marnus drove his claws not into the creature's throat but into its chest, tearing through the illusion at its heart. Light exploded, the false Kirsten dissolving into smoke and ash. Aftermath. Marnus collapsed to his knees, panting, blood dripping from his wounds. The flat was destroyed, wreckage all around him. On the phone, Kirsten sobbed. He used my face to break you. Michaela was crying too. Papa, I thought you were going to kill Mom. I was so scared. Marnus pressed the phone to his forehead, tears mixing with sweat and blood. No, my girl. I would never hurt her. Never. Stefan can send every demon in hell, but I will never raise my hand against your mother. The line went quiet except for the sound of their shared breathing, broken, raw, but still connected. Marnus whispered, voice hoarse, if Stefan thinks love is my weakness, he will learn it is my strength. And in the shadows, unseen, Stefan seethed. This one is brutal. Chapter 17, The Night of the Pact Present, Bloemfontein 2016. The night carried a silence that wasn't natural. Not the peace of crickets or distant dogs barking, but a hollow quiet, like the whole city held its breath. Marnus sat on the floor of his small flat, his body aching from the last battle, phone pressed tight against his ear. Kirsten's voice was the only anchor keeping him steady, the only reminder that he wasn't already dead inside. Don't hang up tonight, she whispered, voice breaking across the distance between America and South Africa. Stay with me until the sun rises, please. I won't hang up, he murmured, chest heavy. Then Michaela's voice drifted faintly in, cutting through like the softest blade. Papa, are you safe? Safe. The word almost made him laugh, but all he said was, I'm fighting to be. For you. For all of you. The stirring of shadows. A rumble shook the window. The air tasted of iron, heavy with a storm that wasn't weather. The dogs in the neighborhood began howling, their cries building, merging into one great warning. Then, all at once, silence. That was when the growls began. Low at first, guttural, moving through the streets like a tide. Shapes stepped into the dim orange glow of the street lamps, wolves with red eyes, their fur rippling like smoke. Hyenas slithered from the alleys, laughter echoing in twisted tones. And behind them, a massive boar dragged tusks the size of scythes against the pavement, sparks leaping from the stone. Stefan had sent not one beast this time, but many. A pack, a family of shadows to break him. The pack attacks. Marnus rose, his body trembling as the lion curse surged within. His claws split through his hands, golden fire burning in his eyes. He roared once in warning. The beasts answered by charging. They hit him like a wave, wolves snapping at his legs, hyenas leaping onto his back, claws sinking deep. The boar crashed into his chest, hurling him through the garden wall of his neighbor's yard. Brick and dust rained down. Marnus slashed wildly, tearing through two wolves, but more replaced them. Jaws clamped onto his shoulder, hot pain burning down his arm. He staggered, blood soaking into the earth. He was losing. The children's voices. Through the chaos, Kirsten's scream ripped from the phone lying in the dirt. Marnus, get up! Don't let them take you. Michaela's voice followed, trembling and sharp. Papa, don't die! Please! You can't leave me again. And then Ray Lee, soft, pleading, almost singing through her tears. Papa, dance with me, please. The words cut deeper than teeth. They dragged his mind to the nights he had twirled her over the phone, her little feet tapping while he whispered, 1, 2, 3, turn. He saw Tabitha's shy smile during her brief visits, Marjorie's warm laughter during their sleepovers. He felt their love, fragile but alive, and it seared him stronger than any blade. The spirit children arrive. Light flickered around him. Out of the corner of his eye he saw them, Franz, Destin and Lee, his spirit children, glowing shapes of fire and shadow. Franz, older now in spirit, stood tall. Dad, focus! Don't give in! Destin darted at the wolves, tugging their shadows away, throwing them off balance. Little Lee clung to Marnus's leg, his glow a lantern in the storm. The beasts faltered, growls breaking. They saw what Stefan hadn't wanted. Marnus wasn't fighting alone. The roar of the lion. The lion inside him erupted. He bellowed, the sound shaking every window in the street, a roar laced with rage, grief, love and defiance. He spun, tearing through wolves like paper. His claws ripped open hyena throats, spraying shadow blood across the pavement. The boar charged again. Marnus met it head-on, grabbing both tusks. With a strength born of desperation, he twisted, bones cracked like thunder, and hurled the beast into the earth so hard the ground split. One by one, the beasts shrieked and dissolved, their smoky forms ripped away as Stefan's grip shattered. When the silence came, Marnus fell to his knees, chest heaving, his body a map of wounds. Blood soaked his claws, his face, his chest. He was still alive, but barely. Aftermath. The phone crackled. Kirsten's sobs filled the air. "Marnus, talk to me. Are you alive?" His voice was ragged, almost gone. "I'm here. I won't leave." Michaela's cry broke him more than the wounds had. "Papa, I thought you were gone." He pressed the phone against his ear, closing his eyes. "Not yet. Not ever, if I can help it." But deep inside he felt it, the whisper of Stefan, cold and cruel. "I don't need to kill you in one night, Lion. I just need to watch you bleed yourself empty." And in his heart, Marnus knew. The war was far from over. Chapter 18. Shadows or Suns Present. Bloemfontein, 2016. The blood on Marnus's hands had already dried into black crusts, the smell sharp and metallic. He sat slumped in the corner of his broken flat, phone pressed against his ear while Kirsten's voice flowed like a lifeline. But the room wasn't empty. In the far corner, glowing faintly, the three boys lingered. Franz, tall and watchful, always standing with his arms crossed as though he had inherited Marnus's stubbornness. Destin, restless, always moving, a flicker of light bouncing like a flame, eager and wild. Little Lee, the youngest, sat on the floor, eyes wide, thumb in his mouth, radiating innocence. They looked like children, and yet not. The doubt Marnus rubbed his eyes hard, growling, "They're not real. They can't be. Just ghosts my mind makes because of the curse." "Who are you talking to?" Kirsten's voice sharpened, worried. He hesitated. "I see them again, the boys." A pause on the other end, then a whisper. "Franz, Destin, Lee?" His heart stopped. "How do you know their names?" "I dream of them too," she said softly. "Every night, for years. They call me Mom. I thought it was madness, but, Marnus, maybe they are real, just not in this world yet." Marnus buried his face in his hands. "Or maybe we're both losing our minds." The spirit children speak. Franz stepped forward, his glow flickering. His voice was steady, older than his years. "We are not illusions, Dad. We are the pieces of love you and Mom were supposed to give shape to. The curse pulled us into this world half-made." Destin darted around, tugging at Marnus's arm with hands made of light. "Don't doubt us. We fight with you every time. Who distracted the wolves last night? Who pulled the hyenas off your back?" Marnus swallowed, remembering the way the beasts faltered, how shadows had been tugged aside like strings. Lee's small voice broke through. "Papa, if you don't believe in us, we'll fade. Please don't let us go." The words tore him apart. His chest felt like it was being crushed. The war in his mind. Kirsten spoke, voice trembling through the phone. "Marnus, maybe this is God's way of showing us what was stolen from us. In the perfect world, those children would have been ours. In this broken one, they came anyway, but as spirit. You can't turn away from them. They're part of us." Marnus slammed his fist into the floor, tears burning his eyes. "Then why does it feel like madness? Why does it feel like I'm carrying ghosts?" Franz's reply was sharp, almost angry. "Because you still see yourself as a killer. You never forgave yourself for that little girl in Sudan. But we're not her. We're yours. Stop punishing us for a sin we're not part of." The name of the dead child cut like a knife, reopening wounds he'd tried to drown with alcohol, drugs, women. He wanted to argue, but couldn't. The test. Suddenly, the room grew cold. The shadows stirred again. From the shattered window, the sound of claws scraped against the concrete. 6 glowing eyes peered in. Not beasts this time, children. Small, twisted silhouettes climbing through the window, whispering in voices like broken flutes. "He killed me. He killed me. He killed me." The dead girl's ghost. But multiplied, fractured, sent by Stefan to break him further. Marnus staggered back, claws half forming, his chest heaving. He couldn't raise his hand against them. Not children. The spirit boys moved in front of him. Franz raised his glowing hand, light clashing against the phantoms. "Dad, stand with us!" Marnus's claws shook. His heart screamed. "They're illusions, they're traps." But another part whispered, "What if they're real? What if you kill them too?" He froze, torn between guilt and rage until Kirsten's scream tore through the phone. "Marnus! Fight or you'll lose them all." The lion awakens again. In that moment, Tabitha's shy smile flashed in his memory. Mudry's laugh. Rayleigh's tiny voice calling Papa. Michaela's tearful whisper, "Don't die." and behind them the spirit boys waiting for him to believe. With a roar that split the night, Marnus lunged forward. His claws blazed with golden fire, not just his rage, but their light joined with his. Franz at his right hand, Destin at his left, Lee clinging to his back. Together they ripped through the phantoms, the illusions shattering into smoke and screams. The flat shook, windows bursting, until all was silent again. Marnus collapsed to his knees, shaking, bloodied, heart broken open. For the first time he whispered the words aloud, "My sons." The spirit boys smiled through their glow, fading but not gone. Finally, Franz whispered, "He believes."